One person. My internet sucks, guys. It really does. My internet sucks. Yes, I'm back. For some reason, I don't have that much internet issues on my laptop. It's the desktop that has all the issues. I don't know why it's that way. It's such garbage, dude. I hate the internet. Like, I hate my internet. I don't know why. It's so crappy. Ted, stop using the free Wi-Fi from the McDonald's. I'll stop. Maybe Texas power grid having problems. It's just the area that I'm in. It's like the topography of the land. It doesn't really make for easy internet access. I don't know why. I think I should try getting Elon Musk's internet service. I heard it's really good. Got 5 people up on here. 6 people now. We cool. Let me see if I can get my headset over here. Oy vey. Oy vey. How about now? Can you guys hear me? Am I good? Are we good? Yeah? We are good? Who has customization? Yeah? We are good. 9. I don't want to use my phone, sir, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. I have to hold the phone. Maybe if I get a canvas or something. Yeah, guten Tag, everybody. Yeah, I'm here to take your order. This is the Wiener Schnitzel restaurant. We try to give Americans authentic food from the Deutschland. Yeah. Hello, Nightly Pain. Nice play on words there. Yeah. I use the tripod. Yeah, that is true. I should buy some good German technology. I don't want to buy anything American. Americans don't know how to build anything. It's all garbage. Yeah. Germany makes the best technology in the whole world. That's why we say Deutschland über alles in our national anthem. Hello, Theo. Hope you are having a good day. Hello, Winter. Welcome back. Hello, Gutz. I like your German name. Brainstorm. What's the beer of the night? Good German beer, of course. I never buy the American nonsense. Samuel Adams. What is that garbage? Only German beer here, so. You've been attending the Coptic church. Very interesting. How are you liking it? Yeah, you should join the German church. Why are you joining the African church? Are you African? You're not African, so nice people, very good. But they're not German. That's the problem. Where's the alcohol? So this is not a bar, last time I checked. Where is the alcohol? I think I need to put it above my mouth here to get the internal microphone. 999. Can you guys hear me? Are we good? Yeah? I think I'm using the hello, Osama bin Sossen. Yeah, you Obama, you have been missing here in Deutschland. You though made a great strike against the Americans very well. Hello, Robbie. I work on German cars all the time. Good for you. The engineering is not overrated. What are you talking about? The cars are the greatest cars in the world. What are you talking about? That is an outright lie against the German ingenuity. You disagree with Coptic beliefs because you are not Egyptian. Yeah, I'm assuming you are of Aryan origin. Why are you hanging out with Africans? You should be hanging out with your own people. Deutsch engineering is the best in the Welt. Yes, über alles, absolutely. The US Air Force is set to debut its B-21 Raider heavy bomber 2023. Yes, they are upgrading the system. My people know very well. My people are quite familiar with the American ingenuity. We experienced it in the bombing of Dresden. Very, very, very efficient engineering. Very good. Have you ever drunken out? Someone's gonna take that out and be like German Nazi on YouTube. Look at this pure German Nazi. Have you ever drunken out of a stein? No, I don't even know what a stein is. Cops believe in non-abortifacient contraceptive. Really? I didn't know that about the cops. They're more eugenic than the Germans. Their guns are overpriced. The reason why it's overpriced is because it's the best guns in the whole world. Unlike your Smiths and Wesson nonsense, we have the best guns. We have the H&K. You have the Glock. It was made by Austria, but they are still German. What is the difference at the end of the day? But yeah, the reason why it's overpriced because it's good. You get what you're paid for. Isn't that what you Americans say all the time? You get what you pay for. So pay for it, unless you want to buy some garbage from Walmart or something. Yeah. Yeah. You guys drink Budweiser and Bud Light and garbage. It's not Bud Light. I don't call it Bud Light. I call it Butt Wipe. That's what that stuff is. You guys drink Butt Wipe. Don't drink the real beer. It's a real beer, you know? I dated a German girl, very engineer like she was. Yeah? Why aren't you still together? Why aren't you still together? She realized she's not dating a real German man, she's dating an American man. That's the same. You guys we cannot mix, don't you know that? You will never mix two different cultures. One culture is Walmart, one culture is H&K and good ingenuity. Very big difference. One side is DeWalt and one side is Rheinmetall. You cannot mix the two. One side makes garbage, drill bits, and the other side makes ingenuity, makes good building technology. Cops allowed for contraception, and some of their arguments was to curb what? Hold on, this is new to me. I didn't know this about the cops. I got to research this. It seems as though the cops are actually on a right direction. They are more eugenic than we are in the Lutheran Church. I like them. I think I will pay them a visit. Yeah. It's case by case basis, and sperm ain't an inherent. Now we're talking about sperm. Somebody from Appalachia is telling us about sperm. When the best genetics are in Deutschland, mein friend, you cannot beat the genetics of Deutschland. We will take over the whole world with our genetics, or else the entire world will collapse with its poor dysgenic utopia, or dystopia, I should say. Sorry, my English is not perfect. Japanese are obsessed with Germany. Of course they're obsessed. We are very much alike. They are the Germany of Asia. I was like, what the F when I found this out. Theo Klaus. Cops are not orthodox, mein friend. They are not under the Orthodox Church. They are under their own jurisdiction. HK 1416 is made for US Delta Force. Of course, the Americans have to take our technology. They cannot build their own technology efficiently enough. They have to embed our stuff into that. We help the Americans build things, don't you know? We have Rheinmetall. We have H&K. We have our own Silicon Valley in Germany, in Deutschland, don't you see? Mein Theo, yes. My Greek friend, soon we will start the civil war in Greece between the nationalists and the communists. The nationalists shall win with the German ingenuity and weapons, and we will take over Greece. You will see, yeah, you will see. My real name is not Theodore, by the way. My real name is Theo von Clausewitz. Heterogelyphina actually comes from the German word Herzog. Really? Oh, this is new to me. Well, of course, my friend. We used to control the whole world. We used to control all of the Balkans. Germans have a very long history in the Balkans. Don't you know that even during the Ostrogoths, in the medieval period, yeah, we took over all of the Balkans. We sacked Rome more times than anyone else has ever sacked that city. We are the true rulers of the world. Even in the American military, look at the generals in American history. Eisenhower, German, our people. Anyway, guys, I want to show you something very special. I wanted to show you, waiting all week for this, and I'm quite excited to show you this. Okay, so here is my beer cup. This is my beer cup, okay? I have made my own beer. I'm gonna show it to you guys. I have brewed my own beer. This is beer. This is not kombucha. It took me weeks to make this. Made it not with grain. I made an old English recipe of Burdock beer. I call it's burdock root beer, but you can do this with dandelion root. You can do this with different types of root vegetables. But burdock historically has been popular, although people don't really do this anymore. But yeah, let's see how this comes out. Okay, this is a beer. I'm gonna back up a little bit because this thing could explode. So let's see. Ooh, Scheisse. Scheisse. Oh, Scheisse. Insane. I had to fight. That was harder than fighting the Americans in the Second World War. Goodness, what a fight that was. That was awful. The beer was almost defeated me. Good German beer is a good fighting beer, don't you know? The beer fights back. Unlike the American beer, the Budweiser, Budweiser that you guys drink, our beer fights against us because we have tough beer, just like our genetics. Tough, strong. Our blood, tough and strong. Yeah. So anyway, this is the Burdock beer. You can see it had a decent head. Let's see if we can get a head on this thing. Hold on. Let's see this again. Beautiful head, although it doesn't last long, but nonetheless, it is a head. It is bubbling right now, so it has very good carbonation. Smell. Oof, that burdock, but you can hear it. You can hear that, right? That's the bubbly. Has an earthy smell to it. It does have a very strong burdocky smell, and I can't. If I could describe the smell of burdock, it would be like a mix between celery and kind of like black peppercorns, like that kind of smell. You can definitely smell the yeast and a little bit of the sugar that went into it. Let's do a taste test. The taste is wonderful. When I first tasted this, because I made this, I cracked this open last week. I put it in a 1 gallon fermentation jar and let it sit. I put about, if I had to go by the metric system, about 500 grams of burdock root that I harvested outside, 1 teaspoon of yeast, 1 gallon of water, and I use water from my refrigerator because it's filtered water, and 2 cups of sugar, and 1 whole lemon. And I think the lemon acts as both a flavoring agent and as a preservative. Let it brew. I let it ferment in the fermentation jar for 1 week. After 1 week, I then bottled it. And then I let it sit in the bottles in a dark place for 1 week, so approximately 2 weeks. When the 2 weeks were over, I put them in the fridge overnight, and the next day I drank them. I drank a couple of bottles. I was shocked at how good this was. I was expecting this to be a failure. I was shocked at how good this tastes. This tastes almost like a English Christmas punch. You know, that like pungent punch that, I'm not talking about the Hawaiian punch crap or like Kool-Aid. I'm talking about real deal punch with spices and I don't know, juniper berries and cinnamon. Like you get that flavor, even though there's no cinnamon here. There's no cloves. There's no spices in here. It's just pure burdock root, sugar, yeast, and water, and lemon. That's all that's in here. And yet, because of the fermentation, you get this nice, almost not spicy, but this nice aromatic, earthy beer that's very refreshing, crisp. It's not a strong beer like a Vorsteiner, like this German beer is. It's more of like, let me taste it again. Hold on. It's more like a light beer. It's like a mix between a heavy and a light. It's not too light, it's not too heavy. It's kind of like a Shiner, like that. It has that Shiner Bock texture, but it doesn't have that malty taste because there is no malt in this beer. It's malt comes from wheat, some kind of grain. you don't have maltiness in this beer, but you do have a nice, refreshing earthiness. There is alcohol in it. If I had to guess, it would be maybe 3.5, 4% alcohol, something like that. Not too heavy, and because there's no wheat and there's no hops in this beer, you could drink a lot of this stuff and not worry about getting man titties. Because the biggest problem with drinking beer is that there is hops in it. It's one of the reasons why I'm not too crazy about drinking IPAs. IPAs are the devil. Like, they're flavor-wise, IPAs are okay. They do have like a nice bitter orange flavor, like a bitter citrusy flavor, which is nice. One IPA once in a while is okay, but to just make IPAs your main weekly beer, it's a bad idea because you will look like a doughboy. It's pretty bad. Estrogen, because hops are super high in estrogen, and what makes an IPA is a very, very hoppy beer. That's what distinguishes an IPA. It's why when I drink beer, I like to drink a beer that has little to no hops. Like if there is hops, very light touch of hops, like a Texas Lone Star, by the way, is an excellent beer. I like the Texas Lone Star. Texas Lone Star. What else is there? Maybe like a Corona, things like that. Those light beers, light and hops. I like beer that's very malty and hop and very light on the hops, little to no hops. Although hops are important because they do provide a bitter balance to the sweetness of the malt. This beer, you do get a yeasty beer taste to it. You do get a beer taste, but there's no hops and there's no malt. So this beer is actually not fattening at all. It's not fattening at all. It's not heavy at all. I could drink, like one time I drank 2 bottles on a Saturday. I drank 2 of these and I felt completely light. Like, it's not heavy on the stomach. It's crisp. It does have that Burdock taste. Really comes at your throat and hits you like a really cold 7-Up or Sprite. You know, when you drink a Sprite, it has that burning throat sensation. That does come up a little bit with this beer. But I am actually really, really proud of this beer. I'm proud of it because I made it from scratch. It's pretty awesome. And it wasn't difficult. There wasn't any deep science to it. You know, like, I've watched a number of videos on beer production and how people make their own beers. And you have some people who do it as a hobby and they do it with some pretty simple, basic elemental tools. Like, you know, they use a regular pot and boil water and all this stuff. I've seen people who have the giant canisters and they make their own beer and they do it very seriously and they make a science out of it, and all power to them, but I don't think that's actually necessary. So I realized, wow, I can make beer. You know, it's similar to making kombucha. It's not that unsimilar or dissimilar. It's not that different from making booch. Booch uses a different type of yeast. So the flavor in booch is, I call it booch. The flavor in kombucha is different. The yeast, the microbiology that we use to make kombucha is a mixture of wild yeast and bacteria. I don't know exactly what kind of bacteria is used in kombucha making. It could be lactobacillus. I have no idea. But it's basically yeast that's in the air. That's what kombucha uses. That's why when you make kombucha, the culture that you use is a SCOBY. Symbiotic. Hold on, let me think about this. SCOBY, symbiotic colony of yeast. No, of bacteria and yeast. I think that's what it is. It's a bacteria and yeast colony. And yeast is basically a fungus. I'm pretty certain that yeast is a type of fungus. So it's a fungus mixed in with bacteria, and it's a colony, a mutual colony. And together they just eat sugar and make vinegar. Kombucha doesn't really have a whole lot of alcohol. Kombucha, an average kombucha is going to have like 0.5% alcohol, because the type of yeast that you're using in kombucha doesn't really produce that much alcohol. It produces mainly vinegar. That's why if you leave a kombucha to sit for a long enough time, you will get vinegar. what makes a kombucha good is a nice balance between vinegariness and fruitiness. That's my perspective on it. Some people like their booch too vinegary. The problem with a lot of store-bought booches is that they're all really, most of them are very vinegary. And the booches that you find that do have that nice sweet touch, they're more than likely using chemicals to give that sweetness, because since in kombucha production you're using a live culture, you can't stop the yeast from eating all the sugar. So some kombucha companies will use artificial flavorings. Like, for example, they use an artificial mango flavor or an artificial peach flavor to maintain that fruitiness, to make the kombucha taste good. This is why I think that when you want to drink kombucha, seriously, make your own damn booch, because you're not going to be using chemicals. You're not going to be using artificial flavorings. Now, with beer production, the yeast that you're using is closer to basically bread-making yeast. Although you can use brewer's yeast. For this type of beer, I actually use the wine yeast, which I'm not really sure how different that is from brewer's yeast. But in beer, I think the yeast is supposed to be like, look at this nice head that develops here. This is beautiful, guys. Look at that. Look at that head. But it dissipates, maybe because, I don't know why. But the carbonation still remains, the refreshing texture still remains there. It's very thin. I use all filtered water from the fridge. So the water is very thin, it's very light. It's very refreshing. And the thing is that even though it's beer, it has alcohol, it doesn't lose the medicinal characteristics of Burdock. So like medicinal characteristics of Burdock are going to be antibacterial, antimicrobial. And Burdock is a medicine. Burdock is not, it's a vegetable, it's a root vegetable, but it's not the same as like a turnip root or a beetroot. It's a root that, yeah, you can eat it, but it has immense antimicrobial characteristics to it. It's medicinal. It's highly medicinal. I know this from personal experience, not experience in my own body, but experience in I've seen how it has helped people. I've seen how Burdock has helped my grandmother. I've seen how Burdock has helped my mother with urinary tract infections and things like that. And it truly, truly does work. And so this beer is actually a really nice way to get the medicinal qualities of Burdock root. Should that be the reason why you drink this stuff? No. The reason why you should drink this stuff because it freaking tastes delicious and it's your own beer. And it's refreshing and it's wonderful. At one point in time, Burdock root beer was actually quite common. It was common in England. They say it goes back to the medieval period, but the oldest record that we have of Burdock root goes all the way back to the 19th century. I want to say it was like in 1829 or something like that. And this record speaks of a man in England who was selling Burdock root beer. He was selling Burdock root beer, and he was arrested because he was selling it illegally. So maybe, I don't know, he didn't have a license to sell it or something. But that's the oldest recording that we have of Burdock root beer. The fact that somebody in England in the 1800s was arrested for selling this stuff tells me that this was something that was a part of common society in England. They say it goes back to the medieval period. There's a legend that says that Thomas Aquinas was the one who invented Burdock root beer. Supposedly he was in a forest asking God for inspiration, and he just so happened to bump into some Burdock roots in the forest, and he pulled them out and made beer out of them. Is this story true? No, it's not true. It's nonsense, because if it was true, we would have actual evidence for it, and we don't have any evidence for this. I think it's nonsense. There's a lot of legends about Thomas Aquinas, and, well, not about Aquinas, but there's actually a number of legends of Christian figures. For example, like there's one legend that St. Augustine said that music was evil, and when you actually look at the evidence for this, you find none. I read this. There's a book that you can read from the Middle Ages. It's called The Golden Legend. It's an old book that compiled stories of famous Christian figures, and there was one story in this book where Augustine said that music was evil and he refused to listen to music because it would only empower the flesh or something like that. And but then when you read Augustine's Confessions, there's a whole bunch of praise for the music of the church. So I just don't like. I found out later that like a lot of these stories are just bullshit. People made them up. But burdock root and dandelion root beer was actually quite common in England at one point in time. It does have an excellent flavor. If you ever take a burdock root and smell it, it has a very earthy, almost like peppercorn type flavor or smell to it, aroma. Some people have compared it to the smell of celery, and it's kind of there, but it's more like peppercornish. Burdock root raw tastes bad. Like it's bitter. It's kind of not spicy, but it's a little pungent, I think is a better word to describe it. In Japan, they call burdock gojo, I think. And they will actually take the burdock roots and cut them into little strips, and then they will saute the burdock in a wok with thinly sliced carrot, garlic, and ginger, and they will add a little bit of, I think they add a little bit of rice wine, and a little bit of, not rice, they add some kind of alcohol to it, and then they add a little bit of soy sauce to it, and maybe some sugar. I'm not entirely, I don't remember. But I actually tried the Japanese method of preparing burdock root, and it actually tastes really good. If you cook burdock root, the flavor is pretty good. Burdock root is one of those vegetables that you really can't eat raw. Like you have to eat it cooked. That's the only way you can eat it. You can try eating it raw like a carrot, but it's not a very pleasant experience. But when you ferment it in a beer and you get the flavor that's contributed by the yeast, and then you have the sugar that goes in there that the yeast eats, then it makes a nice flavor. And as you can see from the color, it's a nice colored beer. I'm pretty proud of myself for this. It's pretty awesome. It has now that I think about it, because as I taste beer, my taste buds begin to pick up different things and notice different things. Kind of like when someone told me that beer has hops, but I'm like, some beers I don't really taste the hops. But then I started thinking about it, and I would taste like a Shiner or something. I'd be like, yeah, I can kind of sense the hops. So drinking this, I can kind of sense something else. If I have to give you guys a better description, because I doubt any of you have ever tried burdock beer. If I had to give you also, in addition to the description of how this thing tastes like, I would describe it as a bitter apple cider. Now that I taste it again, yeah, there's definitely that apple cidery flavor that comes in. And the yeast contributes a lot to it. The yeast completely changes the chemistry of what the burdock adds. And you do get a remnant of the burdock flavor, that sort of pungent earthiness that definitely comes in. But then you have the yeast. And so the yeast, the main flavoring agents here are the burdock, the yeast, and the lemon. The lemon, much of, but it does add a nice hint of sourness. The yeast gives it a yeasty flavor. Imagine, yeah, I just tasted it. There's a yeasty aftertaste, which is nice. It's just a very pleasant beer. It's like a light apple cider. That sourness of the lemon comes out later. The yeastiness is there. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself, man. I will tell you, it's pretty amazing. It's amazing stuff. I don't know. Let's see if I can get. It's pretty easy to make, but man, I don't think this is like a beer in the sense that the yeast is all dead, because the yeast is supposed to be all gone when you drink beer. The yeast was definitely not gone on this. Like, this thing's been sitting in the fridge fermenting for days. It's been fermenting all week. So this is more of a live culture. This is more like a beer kombucha hybrid. Anyway, I'll read you guys' comments. Come on, Theodore. You go throw some. Fun fact. Okay, I already read Herzegovina. The Celts took over the Balkans too. Everything the Germans did, Celts did first. Interesting. Most modern Germans don't talk like that. Well, yeah, I'm doing a meme. Rheinmetall, the only major weapons manufacturer that are more metal than your usual weapons manufacturers. Did Theo taste his homemade beer? I want the chance to see a spot take. What is this Greek script, Robbie? What are you saying there? Custom beer by Theo von Schuba. A little too much carbon. Yep. How long have you let it sit? What do you think the ABV? If I had to guess the ABV on this thing, it's cloudy like wheat beer. Yeah, it has the look of a beer. That's what's so awesome. Oh, dang. Did I start lagging? Beer booch. I call it Burdock. You don't like the smell of yeast? I like the smell of it. Like if I had I was thinking that after making this, I was thinking like I should open up a bar where we sell like all fancy smanchy craft beer, also like beers from different parts of the world, beer from the Philippines. I know the Philippines has some beer. Beer from the Philippines, beer from Serbia, beer from Poland. Poland has a lot of different beer. Poles love drinking beer. Central Europeans in general, they love beer. Like Hungarians, Czechs, and Poles, they love beer. Those people. I think the Czech Republic has the highest rate of beer consumption in the world. Correct me on that, but I'm pretty certain that's the case. And in Poland, they had this one beer. It's like their Budweiser. It's like the mainstream beer in Poland. It starts with a T. I don't remember it, but it's some Polish guy told me not to drink it because he's like, it's full of chemicals. You got to drink real authentic stuff. But man, I was thinking I should open up a bar and I should sell Polish beer, Serbian beer, Macedonian, Czech, German, Dutch, Belgian beer, Canadian stuff. I'll add in American stuff too. Put in some Chinese stuff, Japanese, Korean beer, Russian beer. Like I would put beer from all over the world, Mexican, Guatemalan, Nicaraguan, everything. I'll put it all in there. And I'll even throw in some African beer. Uganda, I think, has its own beer. I think it's called, they get the water from the Nile River or something like that. I've heard it's pretty good. But then the specialty, like the house specialty of my bar would be the Burdock. And we would make it in the back room of the bar. And it would be like a cool, chill, hipster place. Chill music. I'll be playing that indie stuff that they play in Austin. And maybe I'll add in a little bit of early 2000s rock and roll, little Evanescence, little touch of Nickelback here, a little bit of Breaking Benjamin. And then the name of the bar, I was thinking, like, what would be a good name for a bar? I was thinking about like the Speckled Cock, a rooster, but that would be a little too weird. The Rooster, the Burdock Root, the Turnip, Giant Pig. I don't know. Give me some suggestions, guys. What would be a good beer? Larper. The Larper. Yes. The Dirty Bird. There's an argument going on. Sister Tenacious and Goods. I don't know what are you guys arguing about? Oh no, eugenics? Who's talking about eugenics? What are you guys talking about? Oh no, Heather Green and reasonable family management. Oh no. Got that Appalachian eugenics going on, guys. Got that Appalachian nationalism. That's a very strong variety of American nationalism, guys. It's very strong. Beware of Appalachianism. I think Appalachia and Macedonia need to make a coalition against Russia. This Burdock stuff is starting to kick in. That's some powerful stuff. I'm in the mood for Taco Bell. I have the munchies for Taco Bell right now. I love Taco Bell. It's so good. That's real, authentic Mexican cuisine. Nothing's more authentic than Taco Bell. Nothing is more authentic than Mexican Taco Bell. Let me tell you. You want to have real Mexican food? You guys go to these Mexican restaurants, they give you the enchilada plate with the rice and beans. Dude, that's all bullshit. The real deal Mexican food is Taco Bell. Take it from somebody whose mother is from Mexico, and I lived in Mexico for over a year. Taco Bell is the most authentic Mexican restaurant in the world. Think about it. You go to a Mexican restaurant and you order a steak taco. You think the peasants of Mexico can afford steak? They afford ground beef. So you go to Taco Bell, you get 2 taco supremes. Minced beef, which is what a real deal Mexican farmer can afford. Tomatoes, which the Mexican farmer can find in his farm, his garden. The fried tortilla taco shell, which is made up of corn, which is real maize, by the way. Real authentic maize, deep fried corn tortilla. Lettuce, harvested fresh from the garden outside of the hacienda. Mixed in with that, we have some green onions. Real deal cebolla, or as the Italians say, cebolla. And then on top of that, we have gently shredded cheese made from milk that was squeezed from the teat of the local cow of the village. The little pueblita, la pueblita, la puebla, the little town. The milk comes from the cow's teat, and then it is allowed to sit where it forms into cheese. That cheese is now shredded and put on top of the taco. And then the icing on the cake, the fire sauce, made with the freshest chilies coming from the garden of La Hacienda. Guys, in America, you have Taco Bells everywhere. You guys don't realize that you have a gem. You have the most authentic food of your southern neighbor. So authentic that Mexicans cross the border to come to America. Why do you think they come to America? You think they come to America to work? No. They come to America to try the authentic food of their ancestors. Taco Bell. El taco, la chalupa, la gordita. Nothing can beat the authenticity of comida mexicana auténtica. In fact, the word Taco Bell is not English, it's Spanish. Think about it. Taco is Spanish. Taco. Bell. It's not really bell. You guys are pronouncing it incorrectly. Taco Bell. Taco Bell. So next time you go to Taco Bell, don't say, give me a number 1 like some gringo. You go to that register and you say, dámeme un taco gordita. Dámeme nachos con frijoles. Think about it. The Mexican Nacho del Grande. Authentic. Even the word that is utilized is authentic. Nacho del Grande. It's not Nacho del Grande. Stop saying it like a damn gringo. Nacho del Grande. You gotta say it with a Spanish accent. It's real authentic food. When Hernando Cortés set foot on the Yucatan Peninsula, you think he was given some garbage burned tortilla with some beans and squash? That's what the history. Nacho del Grande. Tortillas made from the finest maize, cut into triangles, deep fried in the finest oil. Oh God, the internet is down. That homebrew's kicking in. Now, like I've given some garbage. And then sprinkled with the cheese fresh from the cow's teat. Frijoles, grown from the finest, richest soils, the fecund earth of Mexico. And then on top of that, gentle, crisp lettuce, grown with the finest water of the Rio Grande. That's why they call it Nacho del Grande. It is nachos with the lettuce of the waters of Del Grande. So you guys are getting Mexican culture all wrong. You guys think it's all cholos and narcos and shit. No. Mexican culture is just as classy as Italian culture. You guys don't understand that. Mariachi music, where do you guys think you got that from? Where do you think that came from? Mariachi music came from Italian opera. It's rooted in Italian opera. And German folk music. Guys, you are sitting on a real culinary gem, and you don't is authentic Mexican comida. You don't even realize it. We will laugh at our southern neighbor, but let me tell you something. What's the divorce rate of Mexico? It's super low. What's the divorce rate of the United States? 60%. Who's living the authentic lifestyle? Is it the barbaric southern neighbor? Well, they all want to come here. That's why they're crossing the border. My friend, they're not crossing the border for the wonderful, biblical, pure American woman. That's not why they're coming. They're coming to America because it's easy to make money. That's the only reason why they come to America. The Mexican guy working at McDonald's is not working at McDonald's so he can get a marriage with the overweight American female who's taking care of her children as a single mom. No, mi amigo. He's crossing that border to make dinero. Other than that, that's not, believe me, if they could live comfortably in Mexico, they would. Now, if you couldn't tell already, the Burdock alcohol is kicking in. That's why my thoughts are so fluid. The alcohol that comes from brewing Burdock beer is of a different nature. You see, when you drink Texas Lone Star or Shiner or any one of your Budweiser beers, it makes you just like, oh, did you see that baseball game? Burdock or Burdock beer has a different level of alcohol. I'm guessing the yeast that comes from the air is a little bit of a type of organism that emanates from something more, I don't know. It does something. It has taken me to another level of intellectualism, guys. This is some powerful stuff. I'm telling you, see, they used to make this stuff. It was very common in Europe. How come they stopped? Why did they stop? Think about it. They didn't want people to be awakened by the intellectual emanation that springs forth from the burdock root, which comes from the earth, gaining knowledge from the energy of the topography of the terrain of our origins, which is the clay that God picked up and breathed the breath of life into. That's why they make it with wheat, not root. Wheat and barley is grain that comes from plants, from grass. And how lame is grass? I mean, we mow with our lawns every single day, so who cares about grass? Burdock is a root that goes deep into the earth. Deep into the earth. In fact, if you ever try to harvest burdock root, you need a damn pitchfork. You got to be walking around like a peasant about to overthrow the king to get that damn thing out of the earth. It goes deep into the earth, which means it's deeper into our origins, which is the earth. So drinking burdock beer reconnects us back to that which God used to make us. Who came up with modern day beer making? A lot of it goes back to the Puritan age. They don't want you to know this, guys. The devil is real and the Illuminati controlled Washington. If that weren't the case, they'd be giving us this stuff because it's very, very powerful. Somebody asked me what's the alcohol level of this Burdock beer. I said it was 3%. I'm having to rethink my estimation. This may be like 5 or 6% alcohol. This is some subtle stuff, guys. This is subtle. Makes you think you're drinking apple cider. Before you know, you're like, whoa, this is some strong shit. What do you guys have for me? Let's look. Oy vey, I have almost forgotten. These Balkanoids just use me for my shekels. Heather is a Heather person. Isn't that right? Heather, what the heck? The Illuminati control. Juan Danielson. It's Burdock beer speech. It's impossible to translate. Intellectual alcoholic. Poor Juan. They say the same thing for weed. Juan's sacrifice. Beer has a way of loosening the tongue. Look, I'm honestly not a kid person. I'm not supportive of baby guys. Heather Green doesn't want to have children. Okay, that's her own decision. Let's respect that. Man, who wants to have kids nowadays anyway? The world's about to end, guys. Do you really want to have babies around when you have like Black Lives Matter rioting and destroying businesses? I'm memeing. I'm trying to follow along with Ted's monologue using Windows Recorder and Notepad. I'm sorry about that. When American becomes more atheistic, Mexicans come to their rescue. There's no shrooms, just Burdock, guys. An Indian. He's at risk for human sacrifice on both sides of his family. Make sure your 18-year-old son doesn't sacrifice humans. He may have tendencies as an Aztec Viking. Does the divorce rate correlate with the murder rate? The murder rate in Mexico is much higher than the divorce rate. Look at the chat while you do monologue. Why? Dude, I'm not going to be distracted by your comments. I'm on a flow here. Scandinavian and Mexican. Interesting. Ted, they don't have data caps on the internet where you... Ted's internet is streaming courtesy of Narco Bell. Maybe Elon Musk Starlink may save you from bad internet. Where I live, we have literal third world internet. Technically, if one thinks about the NFP is like contraception, but it's supported by the... Okay, here we go. The screen is so pixelated, it's like the 1980s again. Hooch. Narco Bell is in the parking lot of the city. Dude, I'm not in my house right now. I'm actually in a bathroom in Taco Bell. Did you guys know this? There's this converted school bus that I see in town where the cook makes authentic Mexican dishes. Nice. Ted feeling that home brew. Yep. Beer made from water of the Ganges. I'm thinking a beer made from the water of the Ganges River. What would you call that beer? Shiva? Kali. Kali Light. Kali Weiser. Shiva Weiser. That's it. I'm going into hiding in Bakersfield until the war is over. It's got nothing to do with national... Oh, here we go with the eugenics stuff. Taco Bell Indonesia. Oh, they have Taco Bell in Indonesia? Do they have any like Asian dishes? Theology beer. I would have a second floor in my bar with wooden floors and walls and a big oak table. Bakersfield will stand against the Appalachian. To the sound of corn, to the sound of Freak on a Leash. Theo Meister. Today's progression of technology and how it's being used to control people is the huge outer today. This business is not profitable. My friends has a shop like this in Paris and nobody went there. Oh, really? Anastasia Konkova. Are you from Russia, Anastasia? Too bad. I'm sorry your friend didn't have much luck with his business. The dirty bird. Heather Green is a very strong proponent of nationalism, of contraception, but don't worry, she'll never have kids because she'll never have kids, guys. Don't worry. Heather Green will never have children. Don't worry. The perpetuity of Appalachian seed will not continue on. I propose a Serbian-Croat I propose a Croat-Serbian North Macedonian, because we can't say Macedonian anymore because the Greeks get pissed. This Burdock stuff is insane. This Burdock stuff is insane. This is nothing like any beer I've ever consumed, guys. This ain't Texas Lone Star, guys. This ain't Budweiser. This isn't Bud Light. This is Burdock. This is some... I can see why the English make this stuff. It tastes really good. Back to what I was saying. I propose a Croatian-Serbian North Macedonia alliance to invade Appalachia. We have to denazify Appalachia. I'm just imagining the Putin coming out on RT. He's like, Stratskivke, privet. Serbian, Croatian, North Macedonian, Slavic brothers unite. We must denazify a certain region in America to help the American people. American people are suffering from the plague of Nazism and fascism. Just as we defeated the Germans in World War II, we will defeat the Nazis in Appalachia. Appalachia will be denazified, I assure you of that. And we're like, they're so full of shit. Before you know it, all of a sudden a ship is coming into the coast of Virginia. Okay? And then all of a sudden we hear, wait, let me add something. Serbian, Croatian, North Macedonian, Albanian alliance against fascism. Guys, I raise the fist of resistance against racism and fascism all over the world. Workers of the world unite against the evils of Appalachian fascism. All of a sudden you hear a ship. You don't hear it, but all of a sudden they see a ship docking on the coast of Virginia. And all of a sudden you hear this song from Albania. You hear Albanian nationalist music from the UCK. All of a sudden you hear Ya Lora Sirna, Ya Lora Data La. What's that music? What's going on? Ya Lora Data. Like, what's going on? All of a sudden you hear that North Macedonian bagpipe music playing, and then all of a sudden you hear the Serbian music playing, the da 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 ya da 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 da, and then all of a sudden Croatian music starts playing, whatever that is. I have no idea. I don't really listen to Croatian stuff. Like, what's that sound, Margaret? What's going on here? What? Big old explosion! Like, what the hell, Margaret? What's going on? What's going on? Norfolk, Virginia is now under attack by a Croatian. No, they wouldn't even know. Americans don't know anything about geography. You're like, all of a sudden we're under attack. ISIS is now invading Virginia. I heard all of a sudden there were men with uniforms everywhere. They took over the Norfolk Mall. I was shopping at Nordstrom, was buying some clothes. All of a sudden I see uniformed men with AK-47s. What the hell is going on? And all of a sudden, this tall white man pops up to me. He's like 6'3". Like, what's going on? I'm like, hello, my name is Luke Brankovic. I'm here to save you guys. We're here to liberate Norfolk, Virginia from Appalachian Nazis. I hear you guys are under occupation by Nazis. They are killing everybody, forcing people not to have babies because they think it will overpopulate and ruin the economy. I'm here telling you right now that we will not allow fascism to hurt you people anymore. And then the Americans will be like, what are you talking about? We're having a good time. There's no fascism here. You see, Alexander Brankovic, you see here, my friend, they are so controlled by fascism, they don't even know that they have been ruled by fascism. We have to help them. Let's help them. And all of a sudden, like, Croatian tanks are coming, Macedonian infantry, Albanian paramilitaries, KLA guys all of a sudden are there. It would be crazy, guys. Don't forget, Greece will only Greece will only help because Russia will be like, Greece, we need you to enter the war against Appalachia. And Greece is like, I will only help. I can't do the Greek accent. I will only help. Alemanos, cobaros, comenos, menos que pathos. You must always call the North Macedonian army North Macedonians. If you call them Macedonians, I will not contribute to your military campaign, Mr. Putin. I'm doing the Russian accent. I will not at all contribute to your military campaign because they are not Macedonians. True Macedonians are from Thessaloniki. And if we are going to have Thessalonikian troops in Norfolk, Virginia, then we must call them what they are. They are the Thessaloniki Legionnaire of soldiers. Anytime if you call them if you call the Macedonians North Macedonians, we will simply pull our troops away from Virginia. Putin is like, you have my word. I will always call them true Macedonians are from Thessaloniki. You have my word, my friend. Anyway, I'll read you guys. I'm just joking, guys. Hold on. Joe Biden is asleep in there. Well, it wouldn't be exactly an Orthodox. It would be like a Catholic because the Croatians are not Orthodox. Tracksuits and AKs everywhere. I was born in Norfolk. Oh, you were born in Norfolk? I went to Norfolk years ago. Nice little place. Too expensive though. Could I come up and speak? I can't explain my. I don't have StreamYard. Heather Green, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Nordstrom PTSD flashbacks. I know Chopo's missing out on the action. Why not Bosnian? I guess we could add the Bosnians in there. Why not? Make it a Balkan-Russian alliance. Balkan apocalypse. You better be slandering me. I'm not even talking about you. Wait, I think I did say something about you. I am joking, though. Don't forget, there were Illinois Nazis in the blues. Oh, Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis. We need to denazify Indiana from the sounds of it. Evil feline haters. A Balkan boogaloo in Appalachia. Don't forget Kosovo. We can add Kosovo. Everybody should try Burdock beer. Guys, Burdock beer is the greatest beer ever. You guys need to try it at least once in your life. That garbage that you guys drink, this garbage, this stuff is garbage. It's not real beer, guys. You've been lied to. This is real beer. I can drink a Lone Star. And yeah, I get a little bit loose, but nothing like this. This is like 6%, maybe even more. The alcohol level here is pretty amazing. You guys, burdock root is healthy, very healthy for you. There have been entire scientific studies on the health benefits of burdock root. And if you make it into a beer, it retains its health characteristics, and at the same time, it's very good to drink. Tastes very good. It's not fattening at all. I drank this whole bottle. I don't feel heavy at all. It's not going to give you man titties. It's not going to give you love handles. It's not full of. There's no estrogen at all. Flavor-wise, it's excellent. I'm pretty certain you can find burdock root in any grocery store. Pretty certain of that. You can go to the grocery store and find burdock root. Guys, go get some burdock root. Go to the store, find burdock root. Get like 4 roots. But if you can find a really hold on. Okay, we're good. Guys, Slavo Appalachia. The Ukrainians would be, oh, dude, if there was like a Russian Balkan alliance against Appalachia, dude, the Ukrainians would be in America. Oh, all the Ukrainians of Canada and Oregon and Seattle will come. Like, Slavo Appalachia. Okay, are we good? Wait, is it still lagging? Guys, am I still lagging? Lagging, lagging, lagging. Chumbly. What's chumbly? It's an English word I've never heard of before. A real English word. Friendly terms. Friendly. Oh, damn. Audio is fine. Okay, we're good. Um, just let it. Just strain the water. Get the burdock out, and then just add 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of sugar. That's what I did. 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons. Mix it up. Yeast. Don't just add the yeast directly. Take a little bit. If you want to do a gallon, are we still lag? Did I just lag? Damn. Are we good? Can you guys hear me? Oh, Belgian beer is good. Slavic jihad. Celts has 2. Why do we read this? What's going on? Joe Biden is asleep in the retirement home. Women can still have healthy kids after. Here we go with the children stuff. I need to get the. This internet sucks so much. Damn, I hate this internet access. It sucks. This internet sucks so much. May you never get laid. Oh my gosh, guys, don't worry. She's not going to have children. That's the impression I'm getting. Are we good, guys? Are we good? No, we're not good. $144p good. Christopher Columbus, a converso Jew who helped Sephardic Jews escape to USA and Mexico. America was first discovered by Jews and financed by Jews in the American Revolutionary War by Chaim Solomon. Guys, America is the second Israel. See, people say that Israel controls. I need to get a new laptop, guys. I cannot download OBS with this piece of garbage laptop that I have. It's a 1011. It's a 10.11. I need to. God, this sucks. Heather Green wants children. She wants children. Okay.